Well, the big question for me is which of these two teams is going to be the louder one, Kyle? Super Valiant, Vici, Vincit, we know are both teams that really like to get quite loud. And, well, not a bad start there for Douglas. Does grab N9. An aggressive play here from VG to start things off.
So far, it seems to be working in their favor as well. Mendez already picking up one as well on that trade. It's going to be a 5-on-2, just pure aggression coming out from Vincit. Already a 1v5 for Emzen. Not the way you want to start this off if you're Super Valiant right now, but still, if anyone could do it in this position, Emzen, definitely the go-to player on this roster to make these huge impact plays happen. We'll see if he can make this one happen, though. It's going to be a tough round ahead for him, but he's going to be trying to just sneak around here. The big disadvantage, though, is he has zero control over this bomb right now.
Yeah, certainly. I think that goes and shows the intentions for Vincit as well. Early on in the piece, you know, you kind of just jump out and sort of put the pedal to the metal, put the sword to the throat of Super Valiant. And I think now we're going to have to see how Super Valiant really reacts to a play like that. Emzen will fall. You're not expecting to see him do too much in that 1v5. A bit of noise being made by Vincit, but Super Valiant, they're not going to fall for something like that twice, I don't think.
Yeah, definitely not. I think SV is going to be a lot more attentive in this round, but it looks like we may see yet another aggressive play. Vincit going to be taking full control, just pushing straight out of B at the start of the round, but this time around, it's going to be Formy waiting in the shadows here, ready for this positioning. Emzen, though, going to be taken down first, but it's going to be Formy who answers back with a huge double kill to keep things in control.
Bit of pressure there for Formy because you see Emzen go down very early on in the piece there, and Formy is the player that should be covering him off. If Formy doesn't actually get both of the players there, it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade favouring Vincit, but he does do the job that he was intended to do, and so makes amends maybe for the transgressions of allowing Emzen to fall. Nonetheless, Vincit with the aggressive play haven't made it work this time, and so they put themselves in an awkward position now on this defense. They've read it well. They've rotated the extra player. They've floated the extra player across to A. They have a couple of players there. So maybe Super Valiant will still have a rude awakening as they make their way into this bomb site.
Mazin definitely the key player on this rotation as well. He has to be on point with when he decides to come from behind. But N9 already picks up one, make it a double kill. This is looking like a brutal round for Vincit Gaming. Mazin now just stuck on the flank.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there for Mazin because he had the opportunity to get the shot onto Yazi, but just misses it and then incidentally gives away his position in a 3v1. It's just, you're not really going to be able to do too much from there. 25 seconds though, and he has to make a move. In this meanwhile, Yazi has rotated all the way around through mid and gotten behind him. So that is, I guess, a bit of a taste of his own medicine, but this time obviously Yazi even connecting the shot. All right, one apiece, Super Valiant. They respond back quite quickly. I wonder whether or not Vincit will be going again for something aggressive.
This time around, I definitely expect them to play a bit safer after that trade from Formy went 2-1 against them. And it looks like they'll do exactly that here, playing just a safe 3-man stack over towards the A-bomb side. A little bit exposed in mid, but you still have Mazin here playing the off angle, waiting to see if they'll push out. But it is going to be SV seeming to favor this A-bomb site take, with 3 players already pushing their way up towards the A arches.
Clearing out the connector to mid. Not a whole lot going on right now for Vincit. They're more content to play a bit more passive back in their bomb sites. And 9 starts to work his way through middle here as well. And when you're talking about the A take, it does seem now like Super Valiant are starting to rotate their way toward B. I think Vincit have kind of cottoned onto that as well, as they have pushed an extra player into mid. It's not quite the 3-stack on A that we've seen from previous teams.
And right now, SV, they're just trying to find some information, but Vincit, this is the first round. They haven't really gone for any aggressive peeks at all, and they're just waiting to see if SV will potentially make a mistake here on the execution, but they do need to be careful. There's definitely a trap here set on this B bomb site cross, and N9, he's probably going to be the first one to try and engage this.
N9's the kind of player that can turn a disadvantageous situation into an advantageous one. So he's not a bad guy to have going first, looking for the entries. Emzen, of course, as well. He's going to creep his way through lowers in toward the bomb site. And Super Valiant, as of yet, uncontested on the way up into the bomb site, but it is when they make their way up this ramp that's going to be the big problem. The smokes are coming out, flashes are coming out, and Douglas with the AWP has a job to do here. WQ has gotten across the sniper's nest, and now the HE nade's starting to come back across. Vincit do find the first frag of the round, but Super Valiant have gotten control of the site enough to get the bomb plant down.
Unfortunately now, even at the numbers advantage they have, SV has full control of this bomb site, so it's all about the retake now for Vincit. They have to have a lot of utility here to work with. Emzen already spots one, but actually doesn't go for the shot. He's just going to call out the positions. It's going to be Yazi who gets two. Ryuzo will answer back with a nice frag, but it's not going to matter. Emzen on the flank, ready to shut things down here, gets the double kill, and that'll seal the deal on a big round for them.
Yeah, nice stuff from Emzen. Up to his usual tricks there as well, but one thing I did notice out of that was that he had already taken a couple of shots and it didn't seem like Vincit reacted to it, so maybe the communication not quite there for Vincit, which is obviously not going to be something that you're too keen on seeing up against a team like Super Valiant, who are fantastic in all aspects of Crossfire. I've seen this before though from Vincit, and it worked last time, but this time a much more passive setup from Super Valiant, maybe more prepared for what Vincit is going to throw at them, and look at all the utility that costs for Vincit.
Yeah, it's definitely an unfortunate usage there now that SV knows that's going to be coming potentially round after round here, but now they are going to be in a tough position here. Lucum, he might go down here. He has to try and frag out and just do what he can in this position. Finds one, great headshot there onto N9. Now just has to stall for the rotation, and so far he's done a great job of it, just sneaking around behind. Will they take him down? No, he takes it down, gets the triple, almost has a chance at something huge there, but still he's done his job in this round. 3 big kills going the way of Vincit, and it's going to be a 4-on-2.
Yeah, has no right to get 3 kills from a position like that. Needs to be traded out better by Super Valiant, but man, what movement from Lukewarm there as well, just to make those kinds of aggressive decisions and get around behind Super Valiant. They certainly weren't expecting it. And they had a couple of players kind of keeping an eye on it, but I don't think they were really quite prepared for what he was able to do. And we might well see an equalization of the scoreline fairly shortly. Formy and Emzen, though, are not players that you want to count out of a situation like this. Emzen with the Orm has been known to pick that up in the past. Definitely not a bad weapon in his hands. 50 seconds as well. A fair bit of time for Super Valiant to work with here. So they don't need to do anything too rash. They have control of the C4 as well, so it's going to take a couple of nice entries, but definitely doable onto this bomb site.
Interesting decision, though, from Vincit. They actually play a retake setup towards this B bomb site. Mazin, the only one really holding the cross here. And they're going to get in pretty easily on this one, but still a 4v2 retake. A difficult task to try and hold this one off. But SV, they do get the plant, and now they just have to try and hold on here.
Oh, that's a shot that Emzen really would have loved to have hit. Now they start to get flanked from the back. Emzen just not hitting anything with the Orb, and Rio Zhao able to get close. That'll be another one up for Vincit. So we do equalize it to a piece. Nice to see Super Valiant being able to get the bomb down there, but at the end of the day, not able to work the 2v4 clutch.
Right now, we'll see exactly what they have on the side of VG this time around. They've had 3 out of their 4 rounds where they start off in a very aggressive stance. This time, though, it's going to be the mid duel where Emzen is going to come out on top there, deciding to pull out the AK and take on that sniper head-on, and it pays off greatly.
Yeah, just deciding to run straight down mid. It's a pretty classic Emzen play. Gets the opener for Super Valiant, who, at the moment, have just got that presence in mid. They're not really pushing towards A or B or anything like that. They're making those rotations happen. Gotten across without anyone from Vincit spotting them. You can see that big stack on the A site from Vincit as well. I don't think this is going to go too well for the Brazilian squad. Super Valiant probably just going to waltz their way onto B, unless Mason has anything to say about it.
Surprisingly, too, he spotted almost 2 or 3 players there, yet his team hasn't rotated at all off of this A stack, and this could come back to haunt them in this round. SV already have full control of the B bomb site. They're just going to isolate some smokes here onto Mazin and force him into a difficult position. Now it's all about the retake. It's going to be a man-down retake at that for Vincit. They have to bring all the stops here in order to retake this bomb site.
Definitely going to be a rough one for Vincit. Emzen also waiting for the rotations. As of yet, no one from Vincit being caught off, but he's starting to make his way into the site. 23 seconds here to try and get something done. Emzen on the flank does manage to put a spanner in the works for Vincit, who are slowly but surely dropping like flies. N9 a double kill, and Lukewarm the last one alive here. N9 just missing him. It's Formy that'll finish off the round. And it's so far tit for tat, really backwards and forwards between Super Valiant and Vincit, which is, I guess, kind of what we expected out of this matchup. We expected it to be close. but neither team being able to get any real ground on the other just yet.
And I think now for Vincit, it's really about just stabilizing. I think they've gone for too many stacks almost. You have 4 out of 5 rounds. They've just sort of gambled on their positioning, and now you finally see them playing a bit more spread out here in round number 6. Right now, starting things off, though, there's going to be a potential engage here over towards the A-long position. N9 ready to try and duel here, but Vincit, they don't want any part of this.
Doesn't seem like Super Valiant wants too much of a part of it either. At least not for now. They're going to just slow things down. For me, sets himself up with the flash. He's going to send in a couple of his teammates. Let's see how this goes for Super Valiant. This is a little bit more of a contact play, and wow, that has not gone well at all. Mendes and Rio's out, easily combining to clean up Super Valiant. And I guess that might be part of the reason we haven't seen too much presence on A from Super Valiant, because they have just been wiped away. Emzen again with 4me to try and clutch it out, again in a 4v2. But this time it feels like Emzen's got a little bit more room to work with. He's up to his usual tricks. I kind of give this a bit more of a chance than the previous round.
Definitely do, especially if he can take down Mazin here, but he's having a little bit of trouble trying to compromise this position. Mazin, all he has to do is stay alive and wait for his teammates to help respond, but Emzen knows that, and he's going to go and try and hunt him down, but still, he can't connect on these shots. Does a bit of damage through the box, but the counter flash comes through. Mendes already finds 4me. This could have been enough to get it done. And that it will be. It's going to be another round on the board. And once again, the back and forth continues.
I mean, the opportunities definitely presented themselves there for Emzen. He just didn't hit the shots, which is, I mean, a little uncharacteristic actually for a player of his caliber. Sometimes he's going to be able to make something from that situation, and that's what makes him scary. One thing that's not quite going the way that SV would have planned is WQ down 0-5 at the moment. And, you know, he's always a player that I've sort of associated with consistency. He's always good for 1 or 2 in a round, but just struggling to get involved in this match here, which would put Super Valiant in the quarterfinal. The fact that he's down 0-5 and Super Valiant is still at 3 apiece, I think is actually kind of a scary sign, because if he sort of turns this on its head, if he comes back to his usual form, Super Valiant are going to stream ahead. Right now they're playing 4v5.
Yeah, definitely. WQ, if he wakes up, this could be a whole new game for SV. And as we've seen in the past, when things get close, he can be one of the players who will step up for this lineup. So we'll see if that continues to be the case here. But if he doesn't, Vincit Gaming looking very keen on taking a spot in that bracket stage, feeling very comfortable here so far, keeping things close and even. But N9 still looking for the initial entry here through mid. No one going to give him any shot just yet, but for the first time, we are going to see more of a B stack coming out from VG here, just playing a little bit aggressive here, and potentially we're going to see Mendes push out into a double stack here.
And 9 and 4me going to be very prepared for it. Mendes just caught with his pants down a little bit, and immediately the response from Super Valiant, they're going to go straight back to the A bomb site. That's going to be a much faster rotation from them than it is from Vincit, not to mention the fact that Super Valiant have a player in mid, so even if Vincit were trying to rotate across, it would be a difficult time for them. The one saving grace you can see here for Vincit is they have pushed a player out from B, so that's going to be a bit more information for them, but even still, to allow Super Valiant into this bomb site without much of a hindrance is certainly going to be dangerous.
It's all going to be on the initial hold here from Ryuza. He's going to have to try and hold on here and play for the information. Lukum, though, could potentially catch Emzen as well if he plays his cards right, but Emzen is going to go for the aggressive peek. Spots one, has to fall back here and just play this one a little bit safer, but he's actually taken down nice and early here, making this retake very possible right now, though. It's going to be Lukum pushing through the vents. WQ spots him. Not going to connect anything just yet. Still forces the re-peek. WQ goes down, and it's going to be a 3-on-3 as Mazin picks up another. It's looking a bit grim for SV. Yazi stuck behind the box, but still manages the frag, but the trades come through, but N9 left on 4 HP. A 1v2, surely not. It's going to come down to the wire there, but just enough time to get the defuse as well. It's just barely enough to make it happen, and Vincit pick up a huge round there.
Wow, that was way too close for comfort. You almost thought N9 was going to get it done there. I think a couple of maybe over-eager peaks from Super Valiant do end up getting the better of them. Emsen certainly didn't need to push out the way that he did, and then double Q again, trying to take those peaks. Still not able to get anything on the board. 0 and 6 now. So for Super Valiant, now really waiting for the beast to awaken. 4 rounds now, though, for Vincit. And a couple in the row. The first time that a team in this matchup has been able to put 2 together. Is it a herald for something in the future? Is it the break point that Vincit was looking for? Well, for now, we default back to fairly similar playstyle. Super Valiant just scoping out the A side of the map. Ender's in mid though. And he doesn't get the timing right. This time again, Emsen catches him, gets the better of him.
Right now, things shaping up to be a pretty clean round for SV, especially if they move in on this A execution. It's only Ryu's out there on the back of site, but as we saw in the previous round, he was able to hold on and stall just enough for Vincit to get the job done. But for me, also doing a great job in this position as well, just holding off these potential flanks from the B-long position. He's going to rotate over now as well to support his team now, just leaving Emsen in the underpass there to try and play for some information on those rotations. But Ryu's out, and he's going to be up to the test here now. 4v1 on the side hold. He's going to have to make something big happen here to win this round.
Well, that's a pretty tough ask against one of the best teams in the world. In fact, potentially the best team in the world. I suppose the jury's out until the end of this tournament as to who that will be, but Super Valiant certainly is a contender. And they're making their way back to the A side. N9 leading the charge. Rio Zhao has been spotted. And you said he had to get some work done. Unfortunately, this time won't be able to do too much. Emsen watching the rotations as well. Locking down mid. And for Vincit, a 2v5 seems to be a little bit more than they're going to be able to chew. Flashbang, though, does come through. Mazin and Douglas too keen to push in just yet. Emsen, in the meanwhile, has gotten behind them. And you can bet your bottom dollar that we know how that one is going to be panning out. Again, another round that WQ doesn't get a kill on the board. But yet, Super Valiant continue their march forward, 4 apiece.
Now the real question is, if WQ turns it on the defensive half, will SV be able to close this one out? Still 4-4. Him, as you said, just fairly silent in this matchup, but still when you have Emsen sort of popping off like this and N9 still at 8 frags himself, can make it extremely difficult for anyone to respond in these situations. Formy gets the initial pick as well.
It's a ring around the rosy, Kyle. Vincit, they're doing what they have done a few times in this half, but Super Valiant reading the situation, they've seen it enough times, and they have just booked it in towards the B bomb site. I think Vincit is going to be caught a little bit too late on the rotation there, so Super Valiant happy with the proceedings in this round. And indeed, that's going to be the case. Bomb is going to go down easily here for Chinese squad.
They do need to be careful here, though. It's going to be Vincit holding 2 players to try and prevent anyone from crossing, but WQ, once again, will be the one planting this bomb here and setting up for the post plant. Emsen ready for the peak as well, but Mendez actually sneaks up behind Formy, takes him down. And now there is some potential here on the retake. A very important round as well, as whoever wins this will secure the half in their favor as well. It's going to be Ryu Zhao and Mendez looking for the double peak from the backside of sight, but Yazi here, he knows something's up, finds one, looks for the double. Not going to happen though, but Emsen and N9 here to answer. 3v1 now. Surely not, but he actually picks up the double kill. N9 very low as well, 10 seconds on the clock. Has to go for the peak now. Can he pull this off? There's just no time. It looks like N9 has stalled this perfectly, and unfortunately, the kill's not going to matter. The time will run out, and somehow SV find it, but still, very risky round there.
That's a scary, scary time for N9. He's on such low HP. If he peeks over the wall and looks in the opposite direction than what he did, that's probably a dead N9 just in time, but not the case this time. N9 put in another clutch situation, this time able to pull it off for Super Valiant. WQ not looking too phased by his individual performance. Again, I don't want to really keep harping on about it too much, but it is such a surprise to see him not putting the numbers on the board for this roster. But I don't think it's going to go and hurt Super Valiant too much. They're looking pretty calm and they're looking pretty collected. Emsen being able to do what he wants to do. You know, that's the flanking, aggressive sort of play style that we always talk about and always associate with him. And everyone else seems to be pitching in, obviously, again, with the exception of WQ, but they don't really seem to need it at the moment. And if he does switch on here, as you say in the second half, it can be a world where Super Valiant just runs away with this map and makes a pretty easy entrance into those quarterfinals.
And the thing I noticed too, I mean, Dabaku, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt as he was always the bomb carrier for his team, so he did have to take a few more compromising positions throughout the match so far, but definitely a position where if he steps up, could be a comfortable way for SV to move forward, but still they managed to win the half regardless, so the entirety of this team still has to be feeling pretty confident in this one. Now Vincent, it's their chance to respond. We saw a lot of aggression on their defensive half, but this time around they're going to be playing a bit more methodically, working their way slowly over towards this B bomb site, but for me, he's on the hunt, looking for some information. Mazin, though, ready to challenge him here. Gets the shot. Nice headshot there onto Formy. Now it's going to be an early advantage for VG.
Well, the difference is for VG, they are now the ones with the onus to make those plays. It's not necessarily unexpected anymore. Mazin just creeping forward, keeping his head low so that he can't get spotted through the windows. And Emzen and Mazin will run into each other, and this time Mazin is the one that comes up with the victory. Super Valiant with 3 players alive. And the B site, well and truly in control of Vincit. I said 3, now it's 2. Perhaps the first round of the half is more of a curse for Super Valiant than they would have liked. There's WQ on the board though. And is that time to start getting excited for the experienced veteran of the roster? And the answer would be no, as Vincit with a loud cry are going to take the first round of the half again. And again quite cleanly. So Super Valiant, time to adapt pretty quick.
Now I think the question is, how are they going to answer this mid-sniper challenge here? It has a lot more advantages here on this blacklist side, but Emzen, we see him pulling it out as well here now to try and challenge this potential peak here down mid. Meanwhile, we have the rest of VG working their way slowly over towards this A bomb site where N9 and Dabaku will be waiting for them. But it is SV playing this one much more passive on their defensive half than what we saw from Vincit Gaming in the first half here. We're going to see some slow play towards A, but they're going to have some pretty well-executed plays here, as now they've rotated a third player of Yazi onto the A bomb side.
Yeah, it seems Super Valiant is waiting for Vincit here. You could see, as you mentioned, Yazi rotated across. He's got a flash in his hand, waiting for the push to come from Vincit. It's the counter flash that will enable WQ and N9 to make the play. N9 playing anti-flash under the stairs as well, takes the peek at the right time, and it's a 1-for-1, but WQ gets nothing done. And 3 players for Super Valiant fall in the space of, well, a blink of an eye, really. And again, it's back to Formy and Emzen, this time on the defensive side, to try and clutch something out. And they've got Douglas right behind them, so it'll be an easy couple of kills for him. That puts Vincit into a good spot here in the second half. They're looking solid on the attack.
They definitely are. They have just a little bit cleaner rotations, I think, once they realize where all of SV is positioning themselves. And I think SV, they're almost in a position where they want to do exactly what Vincent did to them to shut them down. I think they need to be just a bit more aggressive, and looks like they will take at least a little bit more aggression in this round, pushing 2 players out of A long, but it may not matter at this point. It's going to be a full B push coming in from VG. Formy immediately goes down without a fight here. Now the rotation comes through. 2 players now on the site from SV, trying to hold this one off. Dabaku finds one onto Lukum, and it's going to be a 4v4. Dabaku stuck behind the box, has to come up with even more frags to keep his team alive in this round as Yazi goes down. Dabaku can't find it though. It's N9 and Emzen already swarming in. Beautifully done, down to the 1v2 for N9. Surely Vincent doesn't want to let this one slip, but a lot of damage being dealt to both remaining players here. N9
is not the kind of player that you want to give any opportunities to, and I certainly feel he's been given one here. Does get away with his life. Douglas watching the incorrect angle on the bomb side, and that will allow N9 to creep forward. What a shot that is. Douglas goes down, but he's got no idea where Rio Zhao is, and the Vincit Gaming boys are very keen on that round. Now 3 in a row here in the second half, and with that kind of noise being made from Vincit, and the fact that Super Valiant, you know, so passive and so chilled, as soon as Super Valiant wins this round, or a round I should say, not necessarily this one, I guarantee you Super Valiant are going to be making a lot of noise. If they win the round, which at the moment it doesn't look like they will. Mazin, 2 quick entries. Formy does get the trade back, but that's not good enough for Super Valiant.
Right now, though, Formy steps up to the plate, finds himself 3 on the round so far, and he's not even done yet. It's going to be a tough round now ahead for VG to try and keep this one in their control. Mendez, though, on the flank. N9 has no idea, looking for the double kill, cannot connect on the spray, though. Dabaku taking a lot of damage as he's the last remaining player here, still looking very positive for VG on the round, but Dabaku If there was ever a time to step up, this was it, but it's not going to happen. 8-5 now.
Wow.
And VG slowly but surely closing in on this victory now.
How quickly the tables turned from being a tit-for-tat, backwards and forwards match where it was just 1-for-1 every single round. You could basically put money on the fact that the team that won the last round wasn't going to win the next round. But Vincit, all of a sudden, in the second half, 4 in a row, and Super Valiant well and truly on the back foot. You can see Vincit, they're feeling confident, they're playing quickly into the bomb side. N9 only good enough for a 1-for-1, and WQ, the woes continue as he gets cleaned up as well. Emzen trying to salvage the situation for the squad here, but it is still a 3 versus 2, and the bomb is going down for Vincit.
Emzen very low here for me. Has to be the deciding factor in this round, but so far it's looking likely here as he finds the nade kill to start off the retake. Now 2v2, still a slight HP disadvantage in this one. They have to be cautious as they retake this site. Both players going to be pinched though. Vincit looking for the round and they'll find it. 9-5 now on the board. The important thing to look at here though is SV yet to win a defensive round.
Indeed, indeed, and we're back into a very similar situation to what we found for Anubis and All Gamers, where Super Valiant now have to come back with a huge number of rounds in a row to make it to the overtime. And I guess against a team like Vincit, that might not be so easy. Vincit have the experience in some big matches. They've played in the Brazil Invitational. They won the Brazil Invitational. And they're certainly a solid squad, domestically speaking, in Brazil. So taking that challenge to Super Valiant here, and it's good to see.
Right now we are going to see a little bit of aggression coming out here in the middle, but it's going to be isolated by a couple smokes. Nicely placed there from Emzen. Now they have to decide if they want to force through or wait it out, but it looks like they're ready to take this head on. They know they haven't lost a single round in this half, and they're ready to put this one to a close. Emzen, the only thing standing in their way in the middle of the site, but it's not going to happen. He misses the spray down, finally connects onto Mazin there, but may not be enough. It's going to be a double kill coming out from DGC there, and it's just going to be, oh wow, 3 kills on the board, and that's it. It's over. He picks up the quad kill, and it's already a 10-5 victory, uncontested in the second half there from Vincit Gaming. What a beautiful way to close it out there.